Dante562, what's going on, guys? I got one question for you. Who is the fighter of the decade? I mean, forget all that bullshit bias shit that we heard about over a year ago. Let's actually go off of accomplishments and not play this bullshit American Idol shit where you try to vote for motherfuckers who don't know how to sing just because you like them. No, let's go off of strict accomplishments. It's obvious who it is, right? Can it be any other person than Floyd Mayweather? I mean, sure, the only person you can think of who even would come close would be, of course, Manny Pacquiao, right? But we have to look at accomplishments. Even Manny Pacquiao could not last as long as the older Floyd Mayweather has lasted, right? I mean, if you look at Floyd Mayweather and you look at all of the other fighters that was in the prime at the same time Floyd Mayweather was in his prime, or when he was younger, you go back about 10 years ago, where are all of those other fighters that was coming up at the same time that Floyd Mayweather, was fighting? None of them are around anymore, right? If there's any fighters that was fighting at the same time Floyd Mayweather was making his name about 10 years ago, if there's any who's still fighting today, they getting their ass whooped and they only fighting for a check today. I mean, let's look at some of the names of some of the fighters who were around at the same time that Floyd Mayweather was around. Naseem Hamed. You remember him? Barrera. Morales. Fernando Vargas. I know you guys remember him. As a matter of fact, Fernando Vargas, he was on the same Olympic team as Floyd Mayweather. Where is he at? Long gone, right? Casamayor. Acelino Popo Freitas. And coincidentally, those are two fighters, Casamayor and Freitas, those were two fighters who actually ducked Floyd Mayweather while they were undefeated in their prime. But, just to give you guys a few names, these are fighters who were on the top at the same time Floyd Mayweather was almost 10 years ago. And Floyd Mayweather, he outlasted them all. Not only did Floyd Mayweather outlast them all, but when you consider the fact that 10 years later, not only is Floyd still relevant, but he's still undefeated, and he's still considered pound for pound the best fighter in the world. I mean, how many fighters do you guys know that can say they have accomplished that in their career? Now, I already know the Mayweather haters. The first thing they're going to say is, oh, yeah, but he ducked some people. He did this, he did that. And, oh, yeah, but he's only still pound for pound because he ducked this person, that person. Let me tell you something. First off, Mayweather's accomplishments are far more impressive than one or two fighters that he was accused of ducking. Okay? Every fighter has ducked someone, but that doesn't explain why today Floyd Mayweather is still considered pound for pound the best fighter in the world. That doesn't explain why Juan Manuel Marquez's own trainer, he praises Floyd Mayweather so much that he calls this man the Michael Jordan of the sport. That's right. You can actually Google that shit. The quote is still there. He says, Floyd Mayweather is the best at what he does. He is the best in the sport of boxing. He is like Michael Jordan. That's exactly what he said. Juan Manuel Marquez, right after he lost to Floyd Mayweather, he damn near chuckled when they asked who would win out of Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Marquez said Mayweather will win easy. He's too slick. And you know what's funny about that is after Marquez made excuses, of course, it's what any prideful fighter does, but after he made excuses of him losing, saying he lost because he was too small, right? You would have thought when they asked him, who do you think will win between Mayweather and Pacquiao? You would have thought, even if he was going to say Mayweather is going to win, you would have thought he would have said something like, well, Mayweather's going to win because Mayweather's going to have that natural size. Mayweather's a natural welterweight, this and that and this, and the other, right? He didn't say that. He said Mayweather will win because he's too slick. Mayweather will win because he's too slick. In other words, Marquez used an excuse for why he lost. Of course he's going to do that for himself, right? But he offered no excuse for why Mayweather would beat Pacquiao's ass, right? And we already know that the size excuse, that is completely debunked. By now you should know it. I mean, if you're not an ignorant, biased, boxing fan that knows nothing about the sport, if you know anything about boxing and you're not being biased, you know you can no longer use that excuse. Oh, Marquez, he only lost because he was a smaller guy and all this other shit. No, you can't use that excuse anymore. Why? Because Marquez, he went in the ring with Manny Pacquiao by Manny Pacquiao's own admission in the dressing room, in the third fight, leading up to the third fight, being interviewed by Larry Merchant in the dressing room before the third fight. They're asking Manny Pacquiao, why do you think you're going to win? Why do you think this is going to be different? Manny Pacquiao sitting over there saying, I'm going to win because, I feel that I'm the naturally bigger guy. And I've been fighting bigger opponents. In practice, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically, this fight is going to be much easier because I'm the bigger guy. I've been fighting bigger opponents. He still went in there and struggled. And the majority of boxing fans believe that Marquez won the third fight. He comes in the fourth fight with Marquez. Once again, he's the bigger fighter. But this time, coincidentally, he has the exact same weight advantage that Mayweather had against Marquez. What was it? I believe Pacquiao was 147, and Pacquiao was 147, and Marquez was 143. It was a 4-pound advantage for Manny Pacquiao. When Floyd Mayweather fought Marquez, Floyd Mayweather, he came in at 146. Marquez came in at 142. I mean, I've already explained this, but I'm going to do it one more time. Even if we were to say that Mayweather was the bigger guy, you still have to consider the fact that Marquez only landed 12% of his power punches. What does that tell you? Landing punches have nothing to do with a size advantage. It has nothing to do with it. This is an example of when when a big guy is beating someone just because they're bigger and the other person is small. When you a big dude, you're fighting a guy who's naturally smaller than you. Usually you will see some shit like you keep coming forward, you keep getting hit with hellacious shots, and that big dude, he keeps taking all your punches, and then after he done took about 10 of your punches, he come and hit you with 2 or 3, and you feel him, and you either got to get on your bicycle and run around the ring, or you damn near on the ground, and the fight is almost over. That's what you call beating somebody because of size. Perfect example. I'm going to go way back on you guys. But when Oscar De La Hoya fought Arturo Gatti, that was size versus a small guy. That's how the fight played out. It played out as a big man fighting a little man. And Oscar De La Hoya, he won that fight because of his size. You go back and you watch that fight, Oscar De La Hoya was getting hit with flush hooks from one of the best hook artists in the sport's history, Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti was actually landing his haymaker punches freely on De La Hoya. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Gatti is better than De La Hoya, but what I'm saying is that size advantage helped him because he was getting hit at will against Arturo Gatti. Because when Floyd Mayweather fought Arturo Gatti, Floyd Mayweather, he never got hit. But Gatti was hitting Oscar De La Hoya at will. And then Oscar De La Hoya, he walked through all his punches and he knocked him out. That's what you call a size advantage. Now let me get back, I'm going off the subject a little bit. Let me get back to the point I was making about fighter of the decade. Now I just talked about what Marquez's trainer thinks about Floyd Mayweather. Paulie Malignaggi talking about Mayweather as the greatest fighter of all time. He ain't related to Floyd Mayweather. He ain't got no reason to just talk good about the dude. Right? They asked Sergio Martinez who the best fighter in the world is. Sergio Martinez, he clearly says, oh, it's Floyd Mayweather. They asked all these fighters. Now I think about it, I can't think of one top-name fighter who actually picked Manny Pacquiao when they asked him who would win a fight between the two. They asked Sergio Martinez, Ricky Hatton, Shane Mosley, and whoever else you guys can think of. They asked all these guys who will win a fight between the two, and they all say Floyd Mayweather hands down. But haters that fucking type on YouTube sending messages because they can't stand this motherfucker personally, you really think that someone is going to listen to what you got to say over fucking professional boxers who, a lot of them who have been in a ring with both of these fighters? You think your fucking hater comments are relevant? Come on, man. Because they're not. They're not. People have to understand, a man's personal life has nothing to do with what he does inside of that ring. It has nothing to do with what he does inside of that ring. You know, some of these fans, and you can tell by the messages that they leave on these videos, some of these fans, they really think, if I just keep hating this motherfucker, if I can just hate him enough, it'll drop him from his status. I could see him slowly dropping from the pound for pound rankings. If I could just get enough motherfuckers to hold my hand and we just bow down and we try to hate this motherfucker with all of our power, surging together, we can take away some of his accomplishments. It doesn't work that way, guys. It doesn't work that way.